Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be a January astrological reading for Aquarius. So I've got the Aquarian Tarot. I've got the Morgan Greer Tarot. And I've got the Syrian Starseed Tarot. So the reading that I'm doing for January is my Help Me, I Can't Afford a Reading. It's $9 and it has 6 cards. So these 3 cards could represent past, present, future. It could be like a tell me a story thing. And depending on what reading you want, but you say you can't afford you know, the $100 reading, the life overview, life purpose reading, oh my god, then I would say this is overview, work, and then relationships. So these 3 cards could be anything depending on what the question is, but these 2 cards down here are going to clarify. It's sort of like the black keys on the keyboard in between the lines. And then normally this would be an oracle card of some sort. But when I'm doing these collective readings, I go with what comes through when I'm picking the decks, whichever ones sort of glow in my mind. Sometimes I'll see part of a particular card, or I'll hear or I'll see the back of the deck in my head, or I'll hear the name of the deck in my head. Alright, so for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, I guess, there's a lot going on in Aquarius in January. So in December, right around the time that I'm recording this, like a week, roughly a week before Christmas, Jupiter and Saturn both moving into Aquarius. And then on the 9th, Mercury joins them in Aquarius. And on the 14th and 15th, the moon is also in Aquarius. So it's Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, and the moon in Aquarius. On the 14th, when Uranus goes direct in Taurus, with Mars hanging out over there, throwing some heat down. You know, and of course, Uranus being the ruling sign of Aquarius. So it's going direct on the 14th. So at any sort of brain fuzz of the collective consciousness, and especially for anybody who's experiencing Aquarius energy, there should be some clarity after the 14th. Now, additionally, the sun is going to hop into Aquarius on the 20th. Alright, so the moon shows up a few days earlier, and then the sun's like, hey, where'd you go? Now, Mercury, the sun, Jupiter, and Saturn are all going to be hanging out in Aquarius from the 20th to the 31st of January. And on the 30th, Mercury goes retrograde. So you get to the end of the month, you got a couple weeks of just chilling. And then Mercury is like, goes out, it like trips the fuck out. And of course, there's usually a pre-shadow, so it's like as soon as as soon as Uranus goes direct, Mercury's like, hey, that sounds like a good idea. I'm just going to slip out the back door and slowly back away. But Mercury's going to be in Aquarius that whole time. So that's fun. It's like your clarity of mind, but the inability to communicate such. Or going back on something that you've been unable to complete that you started earlier, because that's another thing that Mercury retrograde does. I haven't been able to get a goddamn thing done since Uranus went retrograde, and all of a sudden I'm getting that direct call line to the past to say, like, hey, how you been, man? What's going on? Alright, so enough of that confusing and ridiculous nonsense. My notes are so terrible. I tried writing them a different way than I did last month, and it's still a hot mess. So, I don't know. So let's look at what's going on for Aquarius for January. I feel like these are all upside down. The Magician inverted. Mercurial energy. Oh, my sign is usually over here. Oh, I'm all discombobulated. Alright. Alright. So we're already talking about the Mercury retrograde. Five of Pentacles inverted. This is actually a good thing, because the Five of Pentacles is the feeling left out in the cold. Right? I'm going to go back inside. It's cold out here. Notice 1-5 is 15. That could be devil energy. Although not surprising, because there's a giant clusterfuck of everybody in Capricorn, both in December and again in January. The Five of Pentacles energy. Okay, traditionally Mercury in Taurus. Although I've reassigned it Uranus in Taurus. But here it almost doesn't really matter, because it's... I had already explained that Uranus is in Taurus, and Mercury was going to be like, hey, let me just copy that. So it's a little bit of both here, right? It's like my head's in the clouds with that Aquarian energy. And I just heard, like, baby, it's cold outside. Controversial, but again, it's like, what are we doing out here? Like, we could be hanging out inside. It's like these walls are imaginary. But I do feel like this is talking about Mercury retrograde. It also, like, you can't pull the wool over my eyes. It's like I tried to pull a fast one on the universe, and I ended up making my situation worse. So I'm not going to do that. It's like we're not going to repeat that one. And the Page of Swords inverted. Which somehow doesn't really surprise me. What's that page energy? And Page of Swords, just a rehash of the ace and a lower vibration, but I've reassigned or have assigned the Page of Swords Uranus energy as well. So it really doesn't matter. It's sort of like Mercury energy, Uranus energy, half and half, sitting on Capricorn energy. Or, no, Taurus energy. Oh my god, Taurus energy. Jesus Christ. Taurian energy. Is there somebody that's... Okay, I also see this with the 5, and knowing that Mars is going to be in Taurus when Uranus goes direct. I see the 5 as being that conflict number more than I see it being a low vibration of the Hierophant. Right? Especially because it's usually outside of a church. The Hierophant's usually that spiritual kick. The Pope or whoever. It's like, not only is it like I know I can't pull a fast one on the universe. It's like I'm trying to establish what my internal truth is. I don't see this Page of Swords inverted as being a refusal. I see it as being an internal. But it's like I'm not going to, which is weird because these I see as regular inverts and this one I see as I'm going inside. But I also said like let's just go in the building. And like inside it's purple instead of blue. Like, where are we? We're in, like, I'm walking around inside my head, but it's round in here, so the gravity is such that I'm upside down. But the Magician inverted is like, I'm not gonna try to, pull a rabbit out of my ass to try to get a better fur coat for outside. But I have the King of Cups upright, which does follow, right? My trying to get more out of the universe than was a fair bargain, or not putting in the work karmically. Very unhappy, 5 of Pentacles. But when I turn that around and try to focus on some inner truths, I start to gain balance and mastery of my emotions. And if you are in balance with your emotions, some of Cups is also psychic energy. You're more in tune with the universe and not out of tune on a low vibration. Which is with the 5, because the Hierophant is also 5. King of Cups energy, Libra and Scorpio, right? So balancing the depths. Transformative information. Now, King of Cups as a 4 can be a 1, right? You can have this magic. He's a magic man. But he also carries 14, which can break down to 5. So there's another iteration of the number 5, which can be a pivot or a shift, right? Where are we going? We're turning around and going back in because there's a crap ton of snow out here and we're not going to shovel it. And there's the 7 of Wands inverted, okay? This is letting your guard down, essentially, right? It's coming out of, I'm not going to defend myself with a good offense. I'm going to put down that magic wand for a minute and get into my solar center. 7 has to do with movement. But where's the movement? It's, notice that we come in with a 14 and we get a 7 next to it. I'm breaking down the things that keep me emotionally out of balance. 7 of Wands energy. Traditionally, Mars in Leo, but I've reassigned it Pluto energy. And we see that Pluto is in Capricorn during January, but Mars is in Taurus, and we see that we already had Taurian energy. And again, I keep trying to say that that's Capricorn, and it's not. It's Taurus. I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm sure it's for a reason. But let's see what this overview card is. The 3 of Cups inverted. I just heard the Beatles, I don't want to spoil the party. I don't want to spoil the party, so I'll go. But here, it's like, you know, the magic show's over. It's like nothing to see here, folks. Everybody get the hell out. But again, there's this idea of I'm coming in. Three of Cups. Mercury in Cancer. Okay. So, okay. New moon in Capricorn on the 13th. Scorpionic energy. Full moon in Cancer on the 28th. Why am I seeing that's 11? That's 11. 3 is 8. That's 10. 5 is 10 and 1 is 11. Weird. Okay. Again, with these readings, I feel like I get stuck in the middle and I don't know what's going on. I think here I'm supposed to look specifically at the 3rd of January. And when I did the Capricorn reading, I was supposed to look at the 21st. I think this is like, I don't need to make a big deal out of the transformation. Because again, this happened with the Capricorn reading, I think. Or it was the card of the day. Sometime today while I was recording, I think it was the charms. Maybe. I got this idea that what I was talking about was related to the Lenormand Park card. Like a public meeting place. And it was inverted. And it made me think of, you know, social distancing. But here, it's like, I'm working on something that's internal, right? A need to reconcile, trying to get ahead of where I'm actually at. And if I'm fulfilling my emotional needs by becoming in tune with the universe and starting to see my own internal truth, then I don't need to have any kind of shields up against people, nor do I need to go out and make a big hoo-hoo about it. So on the 3rd, the moon is in Leo. And I see this card, Leo energy. So there's something going on January 3rd. Now, interestingly enough, the moon is in Leo twice in January. So on the 29th and 30th, right after the full moon, there's this repeat, an aftershock, a callback of this energy of I'm having some kind of emotional reaction where I realized that I was trying to micromanage the universe and I'm getting in tune with myself. So if you're having trouble with it on the 3rd, before the new moon, that cycle, the 29th and 30th, where it comes back around, right? We got another one coming around. You can hop on that bus. On that short bus. What else is happening on the 3rd? Venus in Sagittarius, hanging out with the South Node. And also on the 3rd, the Sun in Capricorn, and Pluto in Capricorn, and Mercury in Capricorn, and Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, and Neptune in Pisces, and Mars in Aries. And of course that retrograding Uranus in Taurus and the North Node in Gemini. That's it for the 3rd. So for some reason, the moon is very important for Aquarius in January. And we see that because there's something emotional going on. Cups are sort of, I mean, it's water. The tides are affected by the moon. And Aquarius is sort of the wet air sign. It's got a current, but it's more of an electrical current. It's saying, like, these two things are like each other. And this internal work is probably a smaller scale of what's going on in the collective consciousness. The collective consciousness says, I am not master of the universe. I co-create with the universe. Right? There's two figures on here, me and the universe. And if we want to go inside where it's warm and we're not locked out of, you know, we need to work together to open this door here because it's heavy, basically, in terms of a metaphor. You know, it's like the universe is like, you know, you've been pushing that door as hard as you can for like 5 years, and it's got a pull sign on it, but you did not want to listen to me. You insisted that it was a push door, when in reality it's a revolving door, and depending on how much force you use, it'll either let you through or it'll take off your hand or smack you in the ass or whatever. The metaphor is getting a little bit out of hand. So this idea for Aquarius for January is I gain psychic intuition and emotional balance when I let down my need to one-up the universal timing and insist that my lower vibrational truths are like exact or precise. My practice truths are not going to get me these resonant truths that hold up in terms of manifestation in the universe. And then the idea is like, I don't need to attack or defend against these forces, and nor do I need to make a big deal out of it, because it's natural. It's like an ebb and flow. Alright, so I think that's good for Aquarius. Most of that was just me explaining the frickin' movement of the planets. But you can see that you could get quite a lot of information even from a $9 reading. Alright, so if you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up. I have a list of all the readings and their prices in the description box of my infomercial video. Or, let me just make sure this is focused over here. I don't think it's... No, worse. Okay. Or you can just email me, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com, and I'll get you that list. If you want to help keep this channel running, you can donate. That's PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, all CATtheMinion. I've got a lot of art stuff. You can see that I made this. I've got coloring books. I've got a poetry book, too. It's dark stuff if you need that. I've got merch and prints and actual art items for sale. If you use that 3star17 coupon code on Etsy, you'll get 17% off a purchase of 3 or more items. If you go through the link tree, linktr.ee/CATtheMinion, and click on that link, it'll pop in that code at the top of the page. And you can hang out with me on these social medias. What else am I doing? One of my doll videos is probably overnight gonna crack 2,000 views, which is awesome. I think my most watched tarot video is the astrological age of Scorpio, which is at or almost at 500. So that's cool. It's exciting. So if you want to see more of that stuff, if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. It's low maintenance support. And again, I've got all kinds of stuff that's, you know, exciting. I've got the chapbook packs, which is kind of like a little mini reading. I like to call them synchronicity stimulus packets. So those are on Etsy. And the coupon code there is to sort of make up for the fact that I can't list things price-wise the way that I want to on Etsy. I had a catalog I was trying to make, and I had this like hugely complex combining and shipping thing all in my head, and it made sense and it was easy, and I went to use Etsy and I was like, oh my god, this is like completely nonsensical to what I had planned, which is somewhat relevant to this reading. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go with what I've got. So we get a coupon code there. So if you want to get a few chapbook packets, it'll help bring that cost down. And I made them a little bit cheaper too. Instead of it being like $5 for one, and then like 3 for, you know, $10 or something, I had to make them like, you know, like $3.25 or $3.50 or something, and then put in the coupon so that if people wanted more of them, it would bring the percentage down a little bit. Anywho, that's all kind of boring, but I've got a lot of stuff. I've got plushies. I got t-shirts. I've got a calendar on DeviantArt. If you go into my print shop, you can see this cat design here, my logo. Under that, I've got a calendar, and it's got 14 different artworks that I've made. Some, and you know, there are going to be ones that are in print mode as well, and some of the original ones like iLotus and Geomancy are for sale on Etsy. So check that out. And I've got some celebrity and character works, and I'm gonna be donating percentages of that to charity when I actually make some money on those. So that'll be fun too. Try to pay it forward a little bit, and then as I can afford more, we'll get more in there. So this isn't really a informational promotional video, but for some reason it's happening on Aquarius. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.